On New Canadians Today, we are going to talk about the refugee program in Canada. And for that, we have an expert, Petya Ignatova. She is a regulated Canadian immigration consultant and owner of Advocates Immigration Consulting. Welcome, Petya.
Welcome, and thank you for inviting me.
Who are refugees and how are they different from immigrants?
The main difference between immigrants and refugees is that immigrants want to come to Canada. It's usually their plan or a dream. While refugees just want to escape a difficult situation. So that makes them very vulnerable. They don't necessarily would love to come to Canada. They're looking for a safe place.
Canada has often stepped up for people who are in distress, be it helping the Syrian refugees or more recently Canada's response to the situation in Afghanistan. It's intriguing to know how the refugee system in Canada works. Would you please throw some light on it?
We have two main groups of refugees, people we call refugees. One of these groups is actually people who live outside of Canada. For example, there is a war situation and they're trying to find a safe place. They go through a certain determination process, visa application process. They're very different from the people who came to Canada or they're claiming refugee status at the port of entry. So they have different process to go through.
What is life like for an asylum claimant in Canada? Do they get help in the basic necessities of life like shelter, food, and employment?
Yes. Canada is a country that takes a lot of care of the refugees claimants. During this process, while they're waiting for their hearing, they can apply for a work permit, they can go on social assistance, they can get also health care through the federal, special federal program. So they're pretty much taken care of. Now, there is another thing that not all of them, they know how to do that, but the system that supports them is here.
Is there a way for somebody who would like to sponsor a refugee?
Definitely Canadian citizens or permanent residents, they can sponsor refugees who are outside of Canada, not those who are inside. Right? That needs to be clear. They also need to apply to become a sponsor. There's a process, a criteria that they need to fulfill. But yes, it's possible. They can partner also with certain organizations, but they can also form group, so-called group of 5.
Asylum seekers are understandably among the most vulnerable groups. What can they do to protect themselves from immigration fraud?
Yes, immigration fraud is there. And it's very difficult sometimes to detect it because usually it happens when we have a person within the community where they're closer to the community because they speak the language. For example, I would suggest reading the net. We have very good government websites. One of them is the Immigrants and Refugees Board website. Another one is canada.ca. Some of the information is in various languages, so they don't need to speak even English to read those documents. And talk to people, right? Do their research, right? To understand better who can help them, such as immigration consultants or lawyers.
Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge, Petya.
Thank you.